Let's go NFC South. It's the worst division in football. I mean, they're like him. A lost cause. Let's go. And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun of course. Please like and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the NFC South 2024 schedule rankings. Of course, we do have 4 teams in this division. As always, there are 8 teams, divisions in league, 32 teams in total. Obviously, second and last division before we get into our last division, which will be tomorrow. Before again we get into roster grades, which of course begin Memorial Weekend, and we'll go through up to around the week before the NFL season starts. But again, that's around Labor Day. That's when we're going to really get into those roster grades. What it's called, tier rankings. But again, roster grades for the whole summer. Either way, though. Again, the first team we go through will be the NFC South champions, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. Obviously, this division was horrible last year. That's why they won the division. But at the Bengals, at the Jags are their first 2 preseason games, and they're versus the Dolphins. That's their last preseason game. Now getting into their actual schedule. This is definitely very interesting for sure. Again, week 1, they're versus the Commanders, 4:25 on Fox. That game, again, is going to be, it's not going to be in front of the whole country, but again, it should be a fun one to watch. My guess is it'll actually be pretty high scoring. The only concern, I think they absolutely should be able to win this one. But again, if Baker does turn over the ball a couple times, they could lose this one for sure. At the Lions, week 2 is another tough one. I don't know if they're going to win that one. They, of course, lost by 8 points last year. Honestly, should have been more they lost by, but honestly, their defense did step up in some points in that game. But again, if they don't give up those big plays, they could absolutely pull off that upset. But honestly, 1-1, my guess is a realistic start for them. Then they get up to 2. Now, versus Broncos week 3, that's going to be a game, again, I think it'll be pretty competitive, but that is a game that I think they will be able to take care of and get that one done. Week 4 versus the Eagles, of course, you don't remember last year, early season, they played the Eagles in what was a matchup of 2 undefeated teams. The only matchup that is of week 3 that was under 2 undefeated teams, and the Eagles blew them out. So, will that happen again? I certainly hope not, because you just don't get blown out. The next 2 games are going to be tough one. After that, they're on a short week against the Falcons. I don't see them winning this one. They won last year here, but, I mean, it was freaking Desmond Ridder, so don't expect them to do this again. Again, they're already on a short week anyway. At the Saints, though, week 6, that could go either way. They played pretty well in New Orleans, so, honestly, again, that could go either way. Then they got Monday Night Football versus the Ravens. That game's going to be fun to watch. Then they got versus the Falcons, 1 o'clock on Fox. That game, I actually think they're going to win. But, again, this is where it gets tough. At the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, that is going to be a loss. Versus the Niners, though, 1 o'clock on Fox. They didn't play them too competitive last year, even though, again, it was only a 13-point loss. You really look at it, guys, these games, really the only game that I think, again, they should be, again, really in any, these 2 games are, again, I kind of expect them to win is versus Falcons at the Saints. But outside of that, guys, this is a freaking hard, 6 weeks going up into the bye. This is not fun at all. After that, though, after their Week 11 bye, which is actually pretty nice for them, they got some pretty cupcake games for the next 4 weeks. At the Giants, at the Panthers, both of those games should be wins for them. Versus the Raiders could be very interesting, but again, if they're able to run the ball well, I think they'll be able to get that one done. At the Chargers, that's not going to be an easy one to win just because, again, the dynamic of that game. But honestly, if Baker Mayfield's able to throw it against that secondary, they shouldn't have too much trouble there. Then they're at the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football Week 16. That game, you could argue, could be for a playoff spot. Week 17, though, and Week 18, both should be games that they should have a pretty good shot at winning. The only issue that, again, you look at it, their back half of their schedule is incredibly easy. The only game that, again, they're absolutely, should not be favored in is at the Cowboys. But after that, guys, you look at it, it's just a super imbalanced schedule. Yeah, second half, they should at least, honestly, go, if they don't have a winning record in the last half of the season, I don't know what else to tell you guys. They're not making the playoffs. First half, though, they're going to have a bad record if you're, if you're a Bucs fan. You're not going to be, you're not going to go through this stretch and be like 6-4 or 7-3. It's just not going to happen. The best thing I can really tell you guys right now is you got to get out to at least a 2-1 start here. If you get out to 3-0, that's great. You even have more room for error. But 2-1, and then I don't know, what do you say? You guys go win 2 of these games, and you're at, 5-5 going to the bye week. That would be a really good spot because with that, you could potentially have a shot at winning 11 games. Will that happen? Obviously, probably not. But you look at it, again, these weeks, they're going to have a losing record. And this 6-week stretch is just absolutely brutal. Yes, the Saints and the Falcons game home, the Saints game on the road aren't going to be too difficult, but they're not going to be easy games to win. And then obviously these other games, they're going to be battles, and they're going to have to play their A game to win those ones. But you never know. Maybe they pull off an upset in here. But overall, again, I actually do like their schedule. But again, it's just a 6-week stretch. It's arguably the hardest in the league. Maybe not, again, as hard as the Steelers. Again, 6 division games in the last 7. But this is not fun for any team. We'll see how they can deal with that. Now let's get into our next team, which would be the Atlanta Falcons, who, of course, have a quarterback conundrum. And now looking at the Atlanta Falcons, obviously a team that has had a very eventful offseason. They are now irrelevant. if it's not even in a good way. I don't know what's with this. It's just completely effed up. But I guess they have the Ravens week 2 preseason on the road. Then they got the Dolphins week 1 preseason. Then they're versus the Jags. 2-7. Again, the middle game's at noon. I don't think that's at noon. But whatever. We get into their actual schedule. This is definitely an interesting one for sure. Again, they technically have a very easy strength of schedule. I'll be interested to see how they can actually do with that. Versus Steelers, though, week 1. That game I think will go either way. 0-2, 0-3. I mean, it is possible. At the Eagles week 2, that's certainly going to be difficult. Maybe they break that trend of the Eagles just absolutely dominating week 2. Again, it was really these past 2 years. But yeah, that game's going to be interesting to watch on Monday Night Football. Kirk Cousins is going to have to play well in one of those. I really don't know which one. Maybe they win both. You never know. Versus Chiefs Sunday Night Football, that's going to be a tough one as always. But honestly, if there's a game that they're going to not really have to play their A game and still win, might be that one. Which sounds crazy, but they are home. And that's the kickoff of the 3-game homestand. And the last 2 games of the 3-game homestand are versus the Saints. That game's going to be competitive, but it is a game that I really think they should win, considering they won by 2 scores technically. Last year, and they actually were a lot worse last year. Versus the Bucs, though, Thursday Night Football. Yeah, that's a game I think Kirk Cousins is gonna get benched. That would be hilarious. But yeah, that game's gonna be a tight one. But I still think they're gonna be able to win. After that, though, they're at the Panthers. That game again, the Panthers absolutely suck. This game shouldn't even be close. But I mean, I guess they're on the road. It could go either way. Versus Seahawks, week 7, that game's gonna be close. At the Bucs, that's gonna be a tough one. Versus the Cowboys, that's also gonna be a tough one. But I do think they'll be able to again defensively shut them down in a multitude of ways. And then they're at the Saints and at the Broncos. With both those games, I think, in one way or another. Again, they're probably going to split against the Saints this year, so it's probably going to lose this one. But at the bye, week 11, I don't know, 6-5, maybe 5-6, 7-4. They could also be. I mean, looking at it with 1, 2, let's say like 5 possible games they could lose. So 6-5, 7-4, probably realistic for them. I don't think they're getting better than that. 5-6, maybe. I don't know. This is kind of a mid schedule so far. But again, there's some cupcake games in here. Like this isn't very tough. I mean, you have the Cowboys and then all these other teams that you could definitely beat. Off the bye, the versus Chargers, they do not have a good. They're not matchable against the Chargers, at least offensively. Defensively, they're awesome, but that Chargers defense will swarm if they are not prepared. At the Vikings, that game should be a win. I mean, Kirk Cousins' return, he should throw for 500 yards. They should beat them the way they did when they won their first game back in 2020, 40-20. Put up a 40 burger. At the Raiders on a weird Monday nighter, that game could be a loss. Maybe they win it. Versus the, they got just like the absolute. This is. You want to talk about the easiest way to end their season? This is the easiest way to end their season. So you look at this overall, guys. There's no excuse for the Falcons not winning 10 games this year. I mean, this is like a super-duper easy schedule. Again, the only hard games they have on their schedule, like really, truly, are this one, this. Again, the start of the season is not too fun. 1, 2, 3. 4 games, I really think that, again, that they absolutely are going to, they should not be favored in. But all the other games, the Falcons should be able to win. I mean, they're not going to win all of them, obviously. They're not going, 13-4, 14-3. But 10 wins, guys, that shouldn't be too difficult for them. That is all for the Falcons, though. I mean, pretty cupcake schedule. Time for the Carolina Panthers. Alright, guys, for the Panthers, now I have to get in the, what is it called? Booster Seeds Bryce Bunch? I don't even know. They're just not very good. Either way, though, they're 2 preseason games, at least from what we know. We don't know when the game's going to be at, but it's at the Bills, and they're versus the Patriots in week 1, which is they've done, like, a preseason. They've done, like, every year. So, at the Patriots, yeah, cool. Either way, though, we get into their actual schedule. At the Saints week 1, that game I wouldn't expect them to win, but they could win. It's not out of their own possibilities. Versus Chargers at the Raiders, they're going to win at least one of these 3 games. I don't know which one, but I don't think they're starting at 0-6 like last year. They're not beating the Bengals. I mean, maybe their offense does something, but their defense is just I mean, it's decent. Like, their numbers aren't bad, but, like, I just don't see them stopping the Bengals offense. At the Bears, that's going to be a tough one. Another game that I don't expect them to win, but again, the goal for this team is winning more games than they did last year, which is it's not very hard to do, obviously, but still. Honestly, 1-4 is my guess where they're going to start out. Who the hell knows? Maybe they'll be 2-3. Versus the Falcons week 6, maybe they pull off an upset. There's already 3 wins that they could have. At the Commanders, at the Broncos, they were horrible on the road last year, so probably not going to win this one, but hey, you never know. They got versus the Saints week 9. Wait, where did they win their... Oh, yeah, they went 0-8 on the road. 0-9 on the road last year. Holy crap. Versus the Saints, maybe they win that one. They got honestly, this is probably the one game, if I expect them to do something stupid, it's this one because it's in freaking Germany, and it's a tank bowl. I would not be surprised if both these teams have a combined 2 wins going into this game. Who knows? Maybe they don't even have a win combined. Like, it could be that bad. Week 11 bye week, I guess, is good. Versus the Chiefs, versus the Bucs, those aren't the worst games. I mean, the Chiefs are just going to get annihilated, so we didn't even talk about that one. They have no chance of winning these next 2 games versus Dallas. Maybe, I don't know, probably not, though. At the Eagles, they're going to get slaughtered in. I don't even remember the last time the Eagles played at the Panthers played at the Eagles. That was like 2018, right? No. 2018. Yeah, that is Guys, this is the last time the Panthers played at the Eagles. That's crazy. Eagles at Panthers? I don't really remember that one either. Whatever, though. Oh, no. That was, 21-18. The Sam Darnold sucked that game. Whatever, though. Back to the point. At the Bucs, at the Falcons in the season. I'll be honest, guys, I don't give a crap about the Panthers. I don't give a crap about their schedule. They're probably the worst team in the league again. So, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. But honestly, the real thing about this team is that their schedule at least gives them a chance at winning 3 games, which they weren't able to do last year. Which, honestly, that's good, guys. Good job, Booster C. Bryce. But, like, realistically, guys, who the hell cares? Alright, guys, last team in the division, that would be the New Orleans Saints. They got a Week 2 preseason game on Fox at 8 o'clock on a Sunday, whatever that means. At the Cardinals, though, Week 1, 8 o'clock, and they got 2 o'clock games posted for preseason on a Sunday. Back into their actual schedule. I mean, they could win some games, but let's be honest, guys. Who expects the Saints to do anything but, I don't know, be super mid this year like last year? Versus Panthers, though, Week 1 should be a win. Week 2 at the Cowboys. Maybe they pull that off. Probably going to get crushed, though. Week 3, though, versus the Eagles, 1 o'clock on Fox. That's another tough one. So then they're at the Falcons and at the Chiefs. Yeah, I'll be honest, guys. They front loaded the schedule big time. 1-4, maybe they go 2-3. I don't expect them to be above 500 through the first 5 weeks, though. Versus the Saints, what is called Bucs Week 6. If they're at 1-4, expect them to lose this one. That's just my guess. But there's no way they're losing against the Broncos on Thursday Night Football at home in Week 7. They just don't do that. At the Chargers, at the Panthers, back-to-back games, they're going to have to win those one, at least from like what we see from the schedule. And versus the Falcons, again, let's expect they lose this one, so maybe give them this one. Maybe they pull one out of their butts and beat the Chiefs or the Eagles, you never know. Versus the Browns, though, Week 11, give them a loss there. My guess, to be completely honest, guys, would be like 4-6, 3-7, 5-5. They're not going to be above 500, though, in my opinion, through their bye. But after that, you never know. Week 12 is their bye. Week 13 versus the Rams. They could come out rocking and beat the crap out of them. Or they could just, again, lose like they did last year. At the Giants, though, Week 14 should be a win. Week 15 versus Commanders should be even bigger win. At the Packers, Week 16 should be close, but they're going to choke it again because Derek Carr sucks. Versus the Raiders, Week 17, I don't really care. The game's probably meaningless. At the Bucs, maybe it's for a playoff spot. Again, they played well last year. Their 23-13 win. But looking at this team schedule, same thing as last year, guys. 8-9, 9-8. Like, it's easy, but like, they're gonna be the same goddamn team they were last year. So I just have no emotions towards the two teams. They're so bad. There's no way around it. But yeah, they do a decent schedule, like, to be completely honest. But yeah, looking at it overall, I mean, like, ugh. But yeah, technically it's the easiest in the league. So that's all I got for the Saints. And yeah, let's get the overall rankings and please get this thing done with, because I hate this division and they all suck. Alright, now guys, getting into these overall rankings, the Carolina Panthers come in last place because, I mean, they're not good. The good news for them, though, which is something, the Panthers do have a chance at winning 3 games this year, which would be technically an improvement from last year, which really that's all you can ask for as Panthers fans, so that's good for you. But yeah, completely honest, guys, I mean, maybe they're not going to get up to an 0-6 start like last year, so maybe you can flip them the next team we're going to get to, but looking at the team schedule, they don't have too many, like, super tough games. Maybe they win some close ones. Maybe they win 5 or 6 games even. But being completely honest, I really don't care about this team. So, yeah, that's why they're in last. And, again, they're just a bad team. Until they get good and they get fun, they're not watchable. All right, Saints. Pretty simple. They have a really tough start to the season. And unlike last year where they got out to actually a winning record through 5 weeks, yeah, the schedule gets easier down the stretch, but at the same point, we don't know what they'll do. Like, again, how they'll respond, I don't know, like a 1-4, even like an 0-5 or even 0-6 start if it really gets that bad. They're obviously not going to be playoffs to get out to an 0-6 start. So, they've got to hang in for the first couple weeks. I don't know if they'll be able to do that, though, because they're going to be close games if they play well. If they don't play well, they're just going to completely their butts kicked. So, I just don't love the way their schedule is formatted. Yes, it's kind of cupcake games after those first 6 weeks, but let's be honest, guys. I mean, the really only game is against the Cowboys. It's just not very fun. All right, Bucs. Here's why they're here. They have a really tough 6-week stretch. I love the rest of their schedule though. The first half, again, the first couple weeks they should be decent. Again, like weeks 1, 2, 3. Then obviously after their bye week, they should again have a pretty decent record. But again, it's just that 6-week stretch. If they fall apart there, they're gonna fall apart for the whole season. They gotta stick in there. That's really all I got for the Bucs. And obviously the easiest schedule in the entire league and the easiest schedule in the NFC South, which will go to the Atlanta Falcons. You look at their schedule. Again, there's some tough games in there. I'm not going to deny it. I mean, again, some games, obviously, the start of the season isn't great, but at the same point, guys, I mean, you look at their last 3 weeks, it's just a gift. They're going to go 3-0 there, and that should be able to get them to the division. I mean, unless they choke week 18, but I find it hard for this team to really mess this up. It would take Kirk Cousins breaking his leg, Michael Penix Jr. to suck, which will probably happen anyway, and at least 4 other really good players getting injured for this team not to win 10 games, in my opinion. It would take a lot for them not to win 10, because the schedule is just so damn easy, guys. That's just the simple truth about it. But that's all I got for the Falcons. That is all I got for the NFC South. I'm done with this division. I don't want to talk about them until I have to. Should be 4 times. No, wait. Think about them. 8 times, what it's called. Until tier rankings. But either way, or tier week, whatever you call that. That's all I got for you guys, though. See you for the NFC West tomorrow, concluding this. But yeah, until then, enjoy your night, and, yeah, that's all I got. See you later.
To watch him take ownership of our defense. Here's Johnson on the punt return. Deontay Johnson with blockers in front. Johnson into Arizona territory. Johnson down the sideline.